he didn't need a warrant when I asked him for the warrant. He went ahead and went further, and he was yelling and screaming at my children. And I told him they would not answer him because we needed our counsel of choice there. And like I'm saying, is it was just they were just harassing, and like they were harassing my children. They were harassing me. They were putting fear in them. They put fear in the patient I had there, and they were using intimidation. But they had us handcuffed and at gunpoint. We were being terrorized, completely terrorized in the home.
So the bottom line to all of this, as you explained earlier, you said that their only real complaint was educational neglect. Is that true?
Yes, that was the article that was placed out, and I believe it was a Christian woman that wrote that article. Her name was Colleen Heald, and she felt empathetic towards me and what they did to my children. And like I'm saying, and she wanted to expose this. She's exposed the CYFD and all the corruption. There was one article she wrote years ago, and there was a judge. He didn't want to be identified because he was a magistrate judge. It was a member of the state of New Mexico, and he made a comment that I believe there was intensified wrongdoings to a lot of people, and I don't remember if he identified it as corruption, but he said these things should be corrected because these people were not really doing things right, and the CYFD themselves.
The families here in Iowa should be feel privileged in that they can homeschool without this restriction of being called truant, and therefore the possibility of being drawn in and losing their children. Maybe you have a closing comment, because Don's going to introduce another guest here in just a moment. Would you give us any closing statement that you might have?
This is I want to go ahead and bring this out, and this is a tape that was taken by my child, and this is a copy of what the judge did. He went ahead and controverted evidence and conspiracy, and he tried to go ahead and create a conviction by his own word, and it contradicted everything that I submitted into all the federal Justice Department and so forth. Also, I want to bring out that he went ahead and committed a fraud and going ahead and controverting testimony, but he was in concert with CYFD. He failed to, at the last hearing, go ahead and put any of the evidence that I submitted and considered. He didn't even read it. He appeared to try to change all the issues of fact in front of the newspaper that was present there. And also on these issues I brought out that they also delayed, and they violated the statute that they are not supposed to delay in any of these proceedings. And there was a case that I cited in the last that they had a regular reputation of delaying, and I understand there was a lawsuit and it lasted over 20 years for their delays, and this was an abuse within the process, an abuse of the people. And this is a common situation they do all around the United States. They apprehend 4,000 or more children from the different people every day on a daily basis, and they receive millions of millions, and this is a going business of corruption, and it must be checked into. And I appeal to the people of all the states, because our representatives will not represent us, and they don't put forth any issues. And I appeal to the people to write to or to email all the news publications so this can be opened up to the people to show the fraud that they're pulling upon the people.
Okay, I want to say, Michael Travalino, many thanks for coming to Iowa to tell your story in such an articulate manner. Don, do you have a guest that you'd like to introduce?
Yeah, I'd like to.
You got one final comment? Go ahead.
Yes,
Okay.
The last comment is, like I'm saying, is I'm not the only victimized person that they violated all the civil rights. There's many Indians that they want onto the Indian reservations, and they're taking their children. In the state of California, they're apprehending the children, and they're ignoring the Indian Child Welfare Act, which is mandatory. It's mandated by Congress to be followed. But we need more people to go ahead and speak out against what they're doing, not only to the Native Americans, but to all the other people. and all the different states, because this is a great business that they're making, racketeering and falsifying, bringing false charges on people like they did in my case. This was a non-existent charge that they filed against me, and I was charged with it and I was convicted with. It doesn't exist in the books.
Okay, thank you. John, you want, okay, we thank you very much, and we're going to call Donna Taylor to come in front of the camera here. Donna is the mother of Mark Taylor. We've mentioned her before on the program. Mark Taylor was shot at Columbine High School in Colorado.
That's right.
Okay, well, you got a comment?
I certainly do. It goes back about almost 10 years ago when Columbine happened. And again, I see the same type of thing that happened to Michael. We asked for an investigation on trying to find out why Columbine happened. That was always covered up and closed. There's no explanation why. We wanted answers, but they wouldn't answer. So they've hidden everything, or was going to go ahead and hide everything in the archives in D.C. So that tells me there's a lot of cover-ups going on, a lot of wrongdoings going on in order to bring money in for those people. That's the way they make money. But again, I must say, I really feel for Michael, because it's a pain from a different area where his kids were taken away, where my son was shot. So pain is pain, whatever way it's taken. I think what we need to do is we need to write congressmen, just like you said, senates, and keep up with the media, and I mean, get everybody involved. It's going to take numbers of people to help the United States right now. It's not one or two voices, it's multitudes that would come forth to make a difference. And first of all, I would say that we need to intercede. We need to intercede for our nations, and I mean, really, truly intercede, because we are in a mess. And as I mentioned in Proverbs 14:12, there is a way which seemeth right unto man, but at the end there is death and destruction, okay? And Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but ye be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and all acceptable for the perfect will of God. This is not the perfect will of God, what's happening to the people. So I think it's time for the churches to wake up and quit covering up. It's time for all of us to stop covering up, because nothing's going to get done. We have to take action, and we need to do it now. Time is at hand. We have very little time to mess with this. As you can see, the people that are running for office are not for the Bible or God. We do not have much choice right now. The choice is to go on our knees and pray and ask God to restore our nations, because I have never seen anything so destructive and evil, and our constitutional rights have been taken from us. We don't have the right to, pretty soon we won't have the right to bear arms. I mean, they've taken everything from us. Like you said, it didn't make any difference what he said in court. It didn't make any difference what I said about Columbine. We made no difference. They don't care about us. We are the people. They are nobody. We are the people of the United States. We.
How's Mark, that's your son, how's he doing after the shooting?
Marcus having some psychological.
He never came out of it
No.
very well, did he?
No, he did not. As a matter of fact, I'm not able to go back to Colorado for several reasons there. He emotionally wasn't able to handle it. Was in
What caused the shootings, would you say, in a nutshell?
the drugs. The antidepressants have every cause of it at all, and the blackness and the death educations that they teach, and the drugs.
Thank you for coming on with those last-minute remarks. Appreciate those remarks, and we'll see our audience next week.
Thank you.